people, boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm ForClassic and welcome to Resident Evil 3. So yeah, this is a very awaited game. I was really waiting a lot for this game. I love the new Resident Evil style of game. I love the Resident Evil 2, and now we have in here Resident Evil 3, developed by Capcom, and they are using their RE engine, which is a very optimized engine. And that's why I'm here today. I'm here to show you all these game performance on the GTX 1650 Super from Zotac and with the Ryzen 5 3600X. Alright, so let's jump into the graphical settings just to understand how this game will behave. So fortunate for me, when I played Resident Evil 2, I had to play with DirectX 12, which penalized the performance in this game, because I had a brightness bug, which the game was going darker and darker as more as you play it. The Resident Evil 3, it seems that this problem doesn't exist with DirectX 11, so I'm successfully using DirectX 11, which provides much better performance than DirectX 12. So for the rest of the settings, I'm just playing at 1080p with maximum settings aside from shadows. I'm not using shadows on maximum because shadows on maximum requires more than 4GB of VRAM, and since we only have 4GB of VRAM, dropping down the shadows from max to high settings makes you stay within the 4GB of VRAM usage. I'm not even pissed about it, it is just fine. So the requirements for this game, it is just a GTX 1060, 8GB of RAM and an AMD FX CPU, so we are pretty much inside the recommended requirements. And like usual, I always test the game at 1440p and also at 4K. So at 1080p with maximum settings and using shadows on high, I was able to get an average of 96 frames per second with a 1% wall of 71, which means that you can achieve a performance above 60 frames per second all the time in this game. It is possible to lock this game to 60 with no drops. So if you go with 1440p, I do recommend you to use some sort of median settings, and with these I got an average of 74, with just small drops below 60 frames per second. The 1% low it was 54, and it was very playable. Although if you decide to go with 4K and by using the median settings, you can expect an experience above 30 frames per second with some drops here and there in more demanding scenes, explosions or stuff like that. But it's pretty much that. The median settings that I did use, that is, if you go to the description of the video, there are more benchmark details on the description of the video. There is a link there which shows you the screenshots of the settings that I did use. And if you notice, the median settings are very respectable in this game. I mean, you still get all the effects like volumetric lighting, shadows, ambient occlusion. So you get pretty much all the effects as the maximum settings, but just everything it is a little bit less refined, like the shadows are a little bit more pixelated, the volumetric lighting, you can't really tell the difference between low and high settings, they look pretty much the same. And even the ambient occlusion looks pretty good. So those median settings are very good settings graphically, and also they are very balanced performance-wise. If you don't have a graphic card with the power of a GTX 1650 Super, dropping down from HBO Plus to SSAO, or dropping down the volumetric lighting from high to low, or dropping down the shadows from high to median, will provide you a great boost in performance without losing too much visuals. Although if you are running ETU issues with even a more weaker graphic card, disabling screen space reflections will provide you a great boost in performance, but unfortunately it will eliminate all the real-time reflections. You just get like the static reflections from Half-Life 2 and that's it. So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about the performance of Resident Evil 3. As for the game itself, I don't have too much to talk about it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a huge game. Alright, since like Resident Evil 2 was awesome too, and I'm not going to show you Nemesis in here, but that's it. Alright, so guys, I hope you keep enjoying the rest of the gameplay, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye. You
Carlos, I've reached the main avenue. Which way do I go?
See a big transmission tower? That's the substation. You'll have to circle around through an alley to your right to get there.
You mean the alley that's on fire?
Maybe. Surely a tall drink of water like yourself can put out a few flames.
Fuck you. Gotta put this out.
Smash hit that blew the roof off of Raccoon Stadium.